Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Viz 55. It's a tier 10 Czech heavy tank. This one's located on the north spawn of Himmelsdorf and it's under the command of YoMamas. Now this is the heavy tank with a 490 alpha and a pretty good penetration from standard shells. It's, if I remember correctly, 260 millimeters. Oh! Bit of a traffic jam to start with, but everyone's trying to go in the same direction. It's not going to work.
I'm in your jet.
Okay, well, it was the Death Star that got jammed up.
Confirmed.
Now we're moving. Now it's a two-shot autoloader. Oh, and he's just been shot in the rear by the Object 2684. I think actually he was the one who was blocked, not a Death Star. Or was it? I'm not sure, but... certainly the 2684 did not appreciate being blocked, and so he shot YoMamas in the back, which means he's not going to get a high caliber, at least not this game. But YoMamas could, because his gun is actually quite effective. It's a 13 centimeter gun with a 490 alpha and 260 millimeters of pen, and there's a 2-second delay between each clip. And it's quite a fast reload as well, 21.09 by the book, but I think YoMamas has got a faster one. It's the heavy tank with the brows at the front. You can actually see those brows, a feature that you can actually see on T72s actually, funnily enough, and some of the T62s, T64s I think that the Russians put out. So it's a design feature that's really been seen on a lot of tanks, a lot of Czech tanks, which I think the Soviets took on board. It's spaced armour basically around the turret, similar to the Super Conqueror you might say. Oh, first target he sees is an E100, but is he going to fire? Well, he was waiting for the aim to settle, and instead he's decided to side scrape the other channel. Let's see if there's anybody there. No, there's nobody there. You might as well go straight down. Top speed of this tank is a heavy tank. 57 tons of it. 50 kilometers an hour is the maximum speed it'll do. So it is quite quick. Fast reload, heavy alpha. It's got that insane burst ability of 980 and a pretty decent mobility. It's also got reasonable armour as well. At the front it's 300 millimeters on the turret and 115 on the hull. Looks like the enemy tanks went straight up the banana. We're now trying to... oh no, that was a bad shot with the cranbarn. He actually hit the rubble there. Now he got him. That was better. You'll have to excuse me while I'm watching this video. I'm actually suffering from the worst migraine. I've got the kaleidoscope effect. It's like taking LSD without actually taking LSD. Your vision goes all kaleidoscoping. Very unusual. And if it gets too bad, obviously I have to go lie down for half an hour. Otherwise it will continue and get worse, and then the headaches start. But anyway, he's actually headed for the enemy camp area. There is an enemy nearby, a Strip 103B, and now we've got a T100 LT to deal with. Hello. Yeah, one shot's all it takes, but he had taken some damage already. Now there's a 121B and a Strip around the corner. It's an STB 103 I think. Tier 10 game, tier 10 tanks. You know the Strip is quite difficult to deal with. Oh, it's an STB1 as well. It was an STB1 originally, not a Strip. I was wrong. Okay, yeah, the Strip is going to, STB is going to take a lot of damage very quickly. Because after all, he's a medium tank, you're a heavy tank, and yeah, I'm just waiting for that reload to go in before dealing with the 121B. Now, the 121B is basically an upgraded version of the T55. Well, he's been dealt with, taken out by our Manticore. So only 1,255 hit points of damage so far, and we're 2 up on the enemy, so it looks like we're winning, but oh, we just bounced around. He was actually looking at the E3 when he got clobbered by the cranbarn. Now, only one of the cram-bomb shots actually connected. The guy was firing APCR, and now we've got the enemy Viz-55 to deal with. This could be interesting. So he's going to use the wreck as cover. Okay, it's loaded, ready to go. And the cram-bomb's turned up. Go for lower. Yeah, gets him. Yeah, easy on the hull. That shell will just go straight through the hull, no problem. And now you can shoot the Viz through the railway carriages. I've seen a lot of people doing that recently. They, instead of waiting for the vehicle to come out of cover, they actually shoot between the wagons or shoot underneath the wagons if they've got the capability to take out the enemy tank. It also obviously helps if you've got a quick reload. Okay, it's ready to go. There's only 4 enemies left, but they're down to 5 on his own team. They do have a hit point advantage, but okay, he's shooting between the wagons. Bumps one into the lower plate on the E3, so one shot. Oh, and he gets a 750mm round. Oh, 750? He gets a 150mm round, 750 hit point loss, so it's actually a high roll for 837. And that Viz-55 is waiting for the moment to get a shot. And you can see that YoMamas is angling as much as he can, much as he dare, to stop the Viz-55 from getting that shot off. The enemy now has an advantage because we lost 2 more tanks. And now we're even. Oh no, we're not even yet. They've still got an advantage. And somebody's capping. So he's going to have to deal with that Viz-55. Goes for the lower. Gets it. 489, which is a low roll, only just, and the second one hits the tracks. Now the Viz-55 knows we're in reload, but he's got to come around the corner to get a shot at us, and we're going to maneuver, try and get close as possible to stop him actually hitting our hull. Oh, he does get one in, and now we can, just about to reload. Now we're reloaded. Okay, got to get the shell in the right place, and it's very difficult when we're up close. But he can get it into the engine, but yep, gets it in. Now he's one shot and he's out the game. But we've got to get to the cap. 2 left on our team, 3 on the enemy team. He ought to head straight north, but he's going to deal with the E3 first. As soon as it's reloaded. 1 shot in the rear and that should be enough. There you go. He wanted the kill. That's 5 kills. Now he needs to get as fast as possible to the cap. Okay, he's going to leave the enemy 780 to the IS-7. And he's going to bypass him, outflank him, head north. There's been a lot of Object 780s around recently, and that 780 knew what we were doing and decided to try and stop us, but he died to the second shell we fired. The enemy's still capping. I suspect that there was a reset there somewhere, and somebody else managed to get a reset because he's been capping at that level for a while. But we're now down to just 2 tanks on our team and 1 on the enemy team. And it turns out to be the Object 705A. Well, I think the IS-7 is going to get there before us, so we're going to cut through and go straight up the street. If he's actually capping in the right place, we might be the first to get a shot. Okay, he might be just around the corner at the top in that little spot. Yes, there he is. But he's actually using the Rex to his advantage, I think. He's still capping. There's 18 seconds left. Oh, and there's a record turret on its side against the wall. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a surprise. Hello. Yeah, easy kill. Lovely. Right into the lower plate. Wins the game. And a Top Gun. Here's the end of battle results, and that was a first ace tanker for YoMamas in the Viz-55. He managed to get a Viper effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed 10 in this one, as well as the Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. In fact, he ended up with 7. The T110E3 was actually his, sorry, not the T110E3, the Object 780 was his 6th kill, and then he finally got a Defender for resetting the cap and getting at least 70 defense points in the process. You can tell it was a first ace tanker because you get the scroll underneath on the first time, and you only see that the first time. After that, you just get the laurels and that's it. His win rate from that one was 5,860, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. And let's have a look at team score and see where he is. Well, he didn't get the high caliber in that game, and it wasn't from his fault, really, you can say, because the Object 780, the one he took down right at the end, that guy was very good. He got 6,723 hit points of damage, and he rightfully picked up the high caliber for doing more. And then we've got second place, we've got YoMamas with 5,482, and third highest damage in this one actually goes to the enemy FE4005 Heshbon. Yep, he managed to get 4,448. When it came to kills, and I quickly shut that off there. When it came to kills, it was YoMamas. He managed to get 7 kills in that game. The next high scorer being the Object 705A, the one at the end. He got 3 kills. So there was a number of tanks trying to reset him, and every time they reset him, he killed them. And then obviously YoMamas got him in the end. And we can see in joint third place, it was actually the Object 2684, the one who shot YoMamas in the rear, the Kramvan, and 2 tanks on the enemy team. Their 780 and their Kramvan as well. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one with 1,408. 1,138 went to the Object 2684, so they were the best players in the team. And 952 went to the Leopard 1. So if this Object 268 actually had done better and more damage, he would have actually disqualified himself from a high caliber by being petulant and shooting YoMamas in the rear. It doesn't pay to do it, even if you get frustrated, because all you're doing is denying yourself a medal if you do succeed in the game. And he was obviously a good player, and he may have been frustrated that he wanted to go up the hill quickly and that YoMamas was in the way, but YoMamas was a good player as well, and therefore, you know, all that the Object 2684 showed that he's a bit of a troll and he likes shooting people on his own team. Anyway, let's get to the details. 18 shots fired, 16 direct hits on the enemy and 14 penetrations, damage of 5,482 hit points, and all of it was done at close range. He received 6 hits from the enemy, 3 of them penetrated, 3 non-penetrations, 1,460 hit points of damage blocked by armor. Yeah, the Viz 55 and the enemy team did get one of those pens in, and unfortunately he did lose some hit points, but he managed to take the guy out afterwards, so not a loss there. 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, 7 were killed, 909 hit points of damage assistance, and he managed to get 91 defense points when he reset the cap, so it wasn't far off that guy winning. If he'd left it a little bit later, if he'd waited before going around that corner, he might have actually allowed the Object 705A to get the win, unless of course the other teammate that was still alive at the end of the game managed to get the reset. He earned 77,069 credits from the game, 50,000 for completing a mission, 127,069 altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 89,551 credits profit. He got 7 bonds because it was tier 10, and what 2,112 XP times 2 for the first victory, 4,224 experience points altogether. So the Viz 55, the tier 10 Czech heavy tank, it's a bit of a new tank, which means unfortunately all we've got really is the armor profile. We'll have a quick look at that. Okay, here's the armor profile. You can see straight off the bat that it's got those brows on the turret, which make it very difficult to actually pen directly. You can see even there it's 300mm effective armor on the front. The cupola is 200mm. Yeah, I suppose you can get through that, and it's got that weak spot directly on top, but there's a fairly good chance of getting a ricochet if you do fire at that area. Lower plate is 140mm coming out at 210 because of the angling, and upper plate is 115 coming out at 228, so takes your chances as if you're going to actually pen that one. I suppose the best thing to go for is the cupola still, because you can see the second cupola, the thin one, is 150 millimeters coming out at just under 170, and I suppose you can pen this one, which is only just under 200 millimeters of pen and 170 impacted armor. So yes, cupolas are still the best, but it's very difficult to get those shots in, especially with the tank moving about a lot. So yes, takes your money and pays your money and takes your chances. The sides of the vehicle 90 millimeters, so if you can get the sides, that will help. Along the side there, the top of the tank is only 30 millimeters, so an Arty round should be able to pen both the turret and the rear of the tank. So if you've got an Arty and you're firing it from above, try to aim for the top of the tank if you can, and you might be able to get a pen even though it's a heavy tank. Rear of the tank 85 millimeters. Yeah, so it's fairly strong at the rear again. Let's have a look at the live model, because people like to see that, to see where the strong bits are and where the weak spots are. Well, you can see the weak spots are the cupolas. Technically, it says the weak spots are the upper plate and lower plate as well, for that matter, because after all, if you've got something like enough pen to get through, and with the premium rounds, you do have enough pen, 260 millimeters is the actual base pen. But if you've got enough pen to get through the upper plate or lower plate, go for it. But if this tank is hull down, and it does have 8 degrees of gun depression, if it's hull down, yeah, your only chance is really to go for those cupolas, or try and get outflank it and try and get behind it and then do some damage. I'm afraid there is, when we look at the modules, there is no module map for us to work with, other than the fact that we know the driver is sitting in the center up front, and we've got a gunner on the right hand side and the commander sitting behind him, because we've got a gunner's viewports there and the commander's one's obviously behind. That's about all we can work out from this one, other than to say that the loader is probably on the left hand side of the turret as we're looking at it. And seeing as it's a conventional layout, then we'd expect the engine to be sandwiched between 2 fuel tanks either side at the back of the vehicle. But that's all we can tell. We don't know where the ammo racks are, simply because there's no module map to work with. So that's it. So congratulations to YoMamas for getting his first ace tanker in the Viz 55. Obviously now he's got to mark it, which is going to take some time, but I'm sure now he's clocked his first ace, it won't be long before he gets his first mark up, his second, and then he gets his third. But nice game all the time, because he actually had a variety of choices to make, whether or not he was going to go straight on and take out that object to 780 straight on, or if he was going to go around. And he did make the choice to go around, but obviously the 780 knew what he was up to and recognized that the Viz 55 was actually the more dangerous opponent. So he had to take that guy on, had to take on that tank, otherwise he stood a chance of losing the game, because his teammate would actually get the reset as well and possibly get the kill. But it was a nice little game. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below, because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.